Bleacher Report at it again. So Bleacher Report proposed a trade for the Bengals to trade for Micah Parsons. And I'll be honest with you, my pipe dream will never come true. My pipe dream is seeing Micah Parsons in a Bengals uniform. I'm sorry, but I'm selfish. I want that more than anything in this world. I really, really do. I love Micah Parsons. I think he'd be a great addition to our defense. I think he'd give us so many years of success and greatness. He's only 26, guys. We're talking about another 10 years, okay? You trade for Micah, you're getting 10 years of a dominant top-tier player, right? Top tier. That's, again, you have to pay him, but you're getting 10 years of it. You could give him a 10-year contract if you wanted to and try to backload that maybe, and he might take it if he wants to be a Bengal, right? So, anyway, beside the point, okay? Bleacher Report posted a trade request, and as always, Bleacher Report, whenever they post stuff, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's just illogical. But they say we're going to trade Trey Hendrickson, a first, a second, and a 2 3s this next year for Trey Hendrickson for Micah Parsons, which is just idiotic, okay? There's no... First off, you're not going to trade Trey plus the first for Micah. Like, in meaning the opposite side around. That's way too much. That's way too much value for Micah Parsons. Like, I love Micah, don't get me wrong. Trey alone, a Trey straight up for Micah Parsons trade, you're not going to get that one done, obviously. But that is very, very similar value in the end. I think we have to remember how good Trey Hendrickson truly is. Okay, and you take it away from Trey's skill level when you're saying you have to give Trey plus a first, second, and 2 3s for Micah. No, I think realistically speaking, I said the other day 2 first-round picks for Micah. I think Trey alone is worth more than a first-round pick, in my opinion. Now, obviously, that's not everyone's opinion. But I think Trey is worth at least a top, if not a top, say a top 10 pick. He's at least then, I would say, a first plus more picks for Trey Hendrickson. Again, that's just how I value Trey. I value Trey very highly. So if I were to trade Trey for Micah, I would say maybe Trey Hendrickson, let's say plus a 4th. Okay, Trey in a 4th round pick for Micah Parsons and a 6. That's how I would personally feel like the trade would get done, is Micah in a 6 for Trey in a 4th. There's just no logical rhyme or reason I could ever see us giving up Trey and a first, plus a second and 2 3s. That is 4 picks from this next draft for one player, plus we're in theory then giving up the best pass rusher in the league. And again, I know we're not going to have, Trey for the next 10 years being as dominant as he is now. But no, there's just no way. I wouldn't even give up Trey plus a second for Micah. I think realistically speaking, you get this done for Trey plus a 4th, and you could even try to get a pick back on the comeback around with a 6th round pick. But I think, in general, Bleacher Report here, and I think a lot of publications, and it's because he's a Bengal, okay? Trey Hendrickson, not going to get the love he deserves because he is a Cincinnati Bengal. But you do have to remember, the last 2 years, this guy led the NFL in sacks. He's very dominant, and I know he's not going to, play for the next 10, 11 years like Micah potentially will. But he's still going to be a very dominant force for at least the next 3 or 4 years. Trey should be dominant until he's at least 35, 36. And you look at Khalil Mack is still dominant, and he's up there in age as well. Calais Campbell is still very viable at his age. So again, like I said, that's kind of how I look at it. It's Bleacher Report. I'm not putting too much logic into whenever they post a trade proposal. But I'm sure the Cowboys would love this. You offer this to the Cowboys, they're answering you within milliseconds saying, yes, we'll take that trade. which, you know, this goes to show how bad, in my opinion, of the trade that would be. I mean, at best, and I don't even. I think honestly, I think it's given up way too much to even make the argument of Trey plus a third. And again, you know, teams, whenever they make trades like this, they love to get something back. So we might trade Trey plus a third, but we want Micah and maybe like a know-nothing player that one of our coordinators might like. So, like, we might say, hey, we want Micah plus, I don't know, like some backup player, right? Just so we can get some value on the comeback around. But, again, Bleacher Report. I swear, I know they write these articles just to, like, tick people off, right? That's the point of Bleacher Report. They do this just to make people mad. But, like, who, realistically speaking, would think a team would give up a first, second, and 2 threes plus a dominant pass rusher for, I mean, for a great pass rusher, don't get me wrong, great player, but no. And again, I know we have issues drafting. We obviously got some new scouts this offseason, which is good. We also lost one of our scouts as well. But no, that just, that doesn't make logical sense to me. There's no logic behind that, and I don't know why I'm entertaining Bleacher Report, but I'm only entertaining Bleacher Report because, as you guys already know, it's my pipe dream. My pipe dream is to get Micah Parsons. My pipe dream is that we figure out a way to get it done. I don't want to trade Trey Hendrickson. I personally don't. That's why I said 2 first-round picks. I understand that, you know, logically, if this ever did exist, which, again, it won't happen. I just stress this stuff. It's not going to happen. We're not going to make this trade. We would also have to give Mike a contract. But if this pipe dream did happen in the magical universe, you know, I would love the idea of saying we give up draft picks instead of giving up Trey. Because, yes, it is a factual thing. We're not that great at drafting. We're not. Although I will say I do really love our draft class this year. So it's kind of counterintuitive there because our draft class this year I think are absolute gems. In the last couple years, me personally, I've loved our draft classes. But we definitely are not you go out there in the 3rd round and you're getting yourself a guaranteed starter for the foreseeable future. I say that, but Jordan Battle is so good. Anyway, my point is, you know, we've had issues drafting, okay? So draft picks to, like, the Philadelphia Eagles, a lot more valuable than draft picks to the Bengals. Because when the Eagles draft, they draft superstar X Factors, and we draft sometimes stars, sometimes bust. It is what it is. Point is, I just want Micah Parsons. I'm sorry, but like that's the point, man. You know, like, honest gut reaction is I just want Micah Parsons on our squad. I think he would help our defense out so much. And with a year, with an offseason that we really just did not focus on defense as much as I feel like we should have, given our circumstances last year, it's nice if we did something big for the defense. Imagine Al Golden. That man might actually, you know, faint if we told him we got Micah Parsons. He might faint. Peace out, guys.